Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on a beautiful Wednesday evening as we learn how to master the new year. This is the first time we've done a College of Graduate Studies orientation, but I think what we've learned is that we really want to be able to serve you in the way that makes sense, and we want to meet you where you are. So we recognize that a lot of us at Drury University communicate with you via email, and you sometimes don't know the faces behind those emails. And so we want to make sure that you have all the information that you need, not only from the College of Graduate Studies, but also from our various departments on campus to give you all of the tools that you need to be successful. We'd like to welcome those of you who are joining us via live stream. We know that lives are busy as graduate students and professionals. We've got a crowd here at the FSC Ballroom on the main campus as well. And so we just wanted to welcome you and thank you for joining us. This link will be sent out as a recorded viewing later on. So if you have to leave the recording or you need to come back and revisit the information, that will be sent out to you early next week or later this week so that you have access to the information. I'd like to introduce myself and my incredible team. My name is Dr. Shannon Cuff. I'm the Associate Provost of Adult, Online, and Graduate Education at Drury. It is my pleasure to be able to support graduate programming at Drury. We have a long-standing tradition of creating fantastic professional alumni at our graduate program, and we are thrilled to be able to welcome you into our community as new and returning graduate students. Also on my team are Jeff Riggins, so you probably have received a lot of emails from him. Jeff serves as our admissions specialist and program coordinator, and we also have the fantastic Casey Dye, who serves as our administrative assistant. So she is also the person behind the grad email. So one thing that we'd like to invite those of you in live stream to do is if you have a question that pops up during the presentation tonight, please email that question, grad@drury.edu. We will be maintaining that email address the entire evening and are happy to answer those questions if they pop up if you're on the live stream. Of course, those of you in the room can ask them in real time. We'll pass that microphone around as those questions come up so that we're ready to answer them as they come our way. So let's get started. We'll first hear from and be introduced to our program directors, Dr. Alex Cobb, Dr. Aska Cosgrove, Dr. Robin Sjostor, and Dr. Regina Waters. Come on up.
Yes, greetings to everyone. I am Alex Cobb. As you can see, I direct the Integrative Leadership Program. That's a full master's degree, as well as the full degree for Public Service and Security Leadership, and then oversee 3 master's certificates in those areas, and then also in Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Data Leadership. I teach 2 classes in the MBA program, and as well as the capstone for the Integrative Leadership Program, and also teach on the undergraduate side in the Philosophy Religion Department. So it's a pleasure to be able to recruit the faculty that will teach and be able to advise the students participating in the program. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Aska Cosgrove. I am working in the School of Education and Child Development, and while I'm an assistant professor, I'm also the director of graduate programs. And one of the things that I do, as well as teach in the graduate programs, I'm also sort of making sure that everything's working fairly smoothly, sometimes fairly smoothly, sometimes not. It's really interesting to work with the education graduate students because they're already making some kind of a big difference in the world around them, right? They're connecting with young people, and some of them are military. They're either coming out of the military or they're still in the military. And so they're doing some really interesting things that it's very, very good to see how that works and how we can make it better with our programs. I don't think there's anything else I need to go on about. I'm not going to keep going here, so I'll hand it over.
Hello everyone, I'm Regina Waters and I'm with the Department of Communication, and I'm the program director for the Master in Communication, the Master in Nonprofit and Civic Leadership, and the Nonprofit Leadership Certificate. I really enjoy working with students both about their program of study but also learning about your goals. where is this degree in your education? Where do you want it to take you? So what I would like to invite any of my advisees or students in the programs to let me know if you're interested in professional networking. I'm a member of a local professional organization. I have lots of contacts in the nonprofit world and would love to connect you to some of my contacts, whether it be taking you to a luncheon or meeting over coffee, but let me know where you're trying to go and let me know how I can help.
Hi, I'm Robin Sjostor. I am the Associate Dean of the Breach School of Business, and I'm also the MBA Director. I also teach in the MBA program. And I would just like, MBA and the Business Ventures Leadership Certificate. Let's not forget about that. And I would also just like to reach out to my students. I will see you in MBA V600, but if you have any additional questions, you know where to reach out to me. We're thrilled to have you all, and looking forward to this year.
Thank you, program directors. They are absolutely your go-to for advising questions and programmatic questions. Next, we'd like to introduce you to a couple of deans that we have here in the room, Dr. Natalie Precise and Dr. Jeffrey Zimmerman.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Dr. Natalie Precise. I'm the Dean of the School of Education. I also teach in the graduate school, advise in the graduate school. Dr. Cosgrove is our front line for any of those questions for grad. He helps get you into our programs, get you with the right advisor, and answers your questions very well. If you ever need me too, I'm always here. I live in Lay Hall, so come and see me. But if you have any questions, just reach out.
Hello, my name is Jeff Zimmerman. I'm the Dean of the Breach School of Business. I'm 2 months in. If you're just starting, I'm just like you. I would love to meet anybody I can. Feel free to stop by. We have a great MBA program and a pretty darn good certificate. And I just want to say, Breach is open for business. Thank you.
We'll now move into the department segment of our program. So these are the people who you'll talk to often. These are the departments who help Drury run. There's no way we can do our incredible work without the support of our financial aid office and our business office and our library. So first up, we'll hear from the financial aid office and Morgan Scriven.
Hi everyone, my name is Morgan and I am here to go over a little bit about graduate student financial aid options. I would like to note that if you do have a specific question about your aid, it's really best to talk to someone in our office because financial aid has a lot of regulations. The answers that we're giving students will depend on the individual student's circumstances. So come in and talk to us. You can email us or give us a call to answer your questions. But I do have some general information to go over to kind of give you a heads up of what to expect in financial aid. So first off, your options in financial aid as a graduate student are going to be less numerous than undergraduates, but you still do have access to federal loans. There are two types of federal loans that graduate students have access to, and that's going to be the unsubsidized graduate loan and the Graduate Plus loan. We do encourage students to take out the unsubsidized graduate loan first because it has a lower interest rate than the Plus loan does, but it does have loan limits that I'll talk about later in the slide. The other loan option that you have is an alternative loan. It is coming from a private lender, which means it's going to be a credit-based loan. Usually it's a higher interest rate than the federal loan, so those are going to be your best option. To be eligible for federal loans, you do have to file your FAFSA, which you can do so at fafsa.gov or studentaid.gov. Doing that online is the best option. There is another application that you'll have to fill out for Drury specifically that tells the financial aid department how much in federal loans you're wanting to take out. That can be found on your My Drury portal in the financial aid tab. The only way you'll be able to see that application is if you're actually registered for classes, so that must be done before you can fill out the loan application. In addition, I do want to mention that the loan application is for the entire award year. So the loan amount that you're putting in is for the fall and the spring semester combined, not just one semester. If you're needing it for just one semester, if you're graduating in the spring or the fall, you will need to contact the financial aid department directly to let us know so we can fix that for you. The loan limits for federal loans for unsubsidized graduate loans are going to be similar to what you're used to as undergraduates, except extended for graduate students. The borrowing limit is higher. For the full year, the limit is going to be $20,500, split equally between the fall and the spring semester. If you are worried about your lifetime limit, the cap on lifetime borrowing is $138,500, so it is a large amount, but it does include the amount that you borrowed as an undergraduate. So if you're concerned about your borrowing eligibility, you can always give us a call and we can look that up for you, or you can log into your Nelnet or whatever borrowing lender that you have. They usually have a portal where you can see your borrowing history. Any communication that we have with students is going to be through the Drury email. It's a federal regulation that any financial aid information that we're sharing has to come through the school email, so be sure to be checking that periodically throughout the semester. Any departmental scholarships that you think that you should be receiving come directly to us from those departments. So we don't have any say in who gets what or how much that is. If you have questions about that, it would be best to talk to that department directly. There are outside scholarships for graduate students, albeit much less opportunity than undergraduate students, but there are some out there. The best option that you can choose would probably be to invest some time searching the web for those. If you don't know where to start or unsure how to search that, I would suggest looking into searching your specific major. Sometimes major-specific scholarships are easier to find for graduate students, so I would suggest that. But if you do have any questions about financial aid or what your options are, you can always come in or give us a call or email. We are here to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
That is a lot of information. So fa@drury.edu, that's certainly what you want to remember. But now up to Jacqueline Tygert, who will talk to you about all things library. We certainly expect you as graduate students to be using peer-reviewed research in pretty much every assignment. So Jackie's going to tell you how to get to that information. We have an incredible wealth of resources at our library. Jackie's going to show you how to get to those.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you all for being here, whether you're coming in from streaming or in the room. My name is Jackie Tygert. I'm one of 5 librarians, and my director, Bill Garvin, wanted to be here, but he had a conflict, so I am happy to stand in for him, but I'm not as funny as he is, so bear with me. We love our building, but we realize that most of you probably can't come to the building. Here. So, many of you are coming from online and you don't necessarily come to campus. If you can come to campus and come to the library, we love our building and we have a lot of cool stuff in it. But if you are not coming into the library, this webpage can be your portal to all kinds of scholarly and literature resources for doing your work. So as you can see, we have buttons, and many of them are repeated. So whether you can choose whether you like square buttons or round buttons, and choose your path through our library page. I wanted to point out specifically the services button. I'm not going to go through what all is in there, but there's a wealth of information under services that will tell you what we can do for you, give you contact information for various people, give you contact information for the CERC desk and the reference desk and so forth. And on the very right-hand side, there's a square button that says Help. That's a real helpful button if you're having any kind of technical difficulties, because often the technical difficulty might be with your Drury account and not really have to do with the library. So it's a troubleshooting page where you can sort of figure out whether you need help from technology services, or if it's a library issue, or maybe it's a firewall issue where you're trying to do your work. So the Help button is good for that. Under Resources, the second button over is Resources. That's where you'll find a link to our catalogs and databases. Those are repeated down in the little round buttons. I tend to go for round buttons myself. But we have, for those of you who did not get your undergraduate in Missouri or have been out of school for a long time, we're part of a library consortium for the whole state. So almost every academic school in the state is in Mobius, and we're in Mobius. And what that means is you can search from home 24/7 from wherever you're doing your research. You can search all the libraries in the state, and you can request materials, and they'll send them to our library within 3 or 4 days. And you can also, if you happen to be down like in West Plains, and the Mobius library down there is the university down in West Plains, if that's a lot closer for you to go and pick up a book, then you can actually request it from your home, from your computer, and have it sent there instead. So Mobius is this incredible system that we're all part of, and if you want help learning to do that, just call one of us so we can walk you through it over the phone. So, but I assume that the most important resource for graduate students is going to be journal literature, peer reviews, scholarly, even the newspapers. Our databases are full of all kinds of literature. And so under the left-hand round button says A to Z databases. What you'll see if you go there, wrong direction, sorry, is this. It's a list of 116 databases that we have. I encourage students to look at what every one of these databases is, but I know you're busy and you might not sit and read all of them. So at the top of that are 3 little windows that you can sort the databases in different ways. And the one on the left is by subject. So if you're getting your master's degree in education, you might want to just click on education and have it reduced to the 34 databases that are best for education. And at the top of that list will be what we call best bets. And those will be the very best databases that index and give you full text for all of the education literature. So there's one for business. You can see all the different databases for the different subject areas. Over on the right, I circled that all vendors, so you can see what we have from various vendors. A lot of people will say, well, just go to EBSCO. Well, we have 34 databases from EBSCO. So those are actually companies or vendors. We have 67 databases from ProQuest, and some of those are very subject specific. So kind of understanding that the EBSCO and ProQuest is a company and not a database kind of helps you be more precise in your speech. Then over on the right, I have underlined popular databases. I find that to be the best link to get to Jstor. And Jstor, do not get through your graduate school or your certificates without discovering Jstor. Jstor is amazing. And in all these databases, I would encourage you to use advanced search, not just go with the little Google-style window at the front that's one search. So in Jstor, if you do an advanced search, you can actually limit by discipline. So there you can limit by what all journals you're actually searching. So that was what I wanted to tell you on this page. I guess there's one last thing I should say, is since most of you will be doing your research from off campus, the first time you click on a database, you're going to be hit with a proxy login page. And that's because the databases are very expensive and they want to make sure that we are only letting people in that have the right to be in, they're licensed. So the proxy login page will ask you for your login, which will be your Drury email address without the @drury.edu, just the first part of your Drury email address, not the last part. And then your password that you use to get into My Drury. So it is your Drury password, it's your Drury login, but you don't have to use your whole email address. So I guess that's it on that. The last thing I wanted to show you was, oops, I keep going the wrong way, is these are the 5 librarians that we have at Drury, and then we have a few other staff. Actually, we don't. We have student staff. These are the 5 librarians. We are all very dedicated to helping you guys. And you can get to this list because I know you won't remember it or be able, even probably be able to read it. But we all have subject specialties that we work in. So if you are an education major, you might want to get a hold of Catherine Bodenkamper. Or if you're a communication major, you might want to get to Phyllis Holzenberg. And then like Phyllis is the interlibrary loan librarian. So this is listed on the homepage under services and faculty staff. So you can find this list and get a hold of us. So I guess that's it for me.
Our librarians are a wealth of knowledge. They are quite a resource. I found them to be incredibly helpful and accessible, and don't hesitate to reach out to them. They're here to help you. Next up, we have Brandon Gash. I'm sure you want to use your graduate degree to do all sorts of amazing things as you plan your career and you develop that. So he's here to talk to you a little bit about what that office at Drury does to support you in your career planning and development.
All right. First off, thank you for inviting me to share some information with all of you. When talking about career planning and development, typically I try to summarize it in two main points, career exploration and job preparation. So in career exploration, there's three things that you're really trying to find out. That's knowing yourself, knowing your options, and making a plan. So with knowing yourself, we have two different career assessments that we use. We have the Focus 2 and then Clifton Strengths. The Focus 2 is a good tool for career exploration as well as exploring different career fields that you've already chosen. So it does have that dual role. And then the Clifton Strengths is based off of positive psychology. So it's not all about what's wrong with you and how do we fix you. It's about what's right and what's good and how do you use that to better yourself professionally and personally. So those are the two main assessments that we use. Knowing your options, this is kind of breaking it down to maybe you're thinking about a certain field or most of you are probably pretty set being in grad school, but looking at different career fields and kind of what options are available to you, whether that's in Springfield or abroad or wherever it is. We can go over salary information, just a host of things that all about the process there with researching opportunities. And then making a plan, that's kind of developing, you're starting at A, you want to get to Z, what are all the things that you can do in between? Those are certainly things that we can help plan with you. And the second part is job prep. So with job preparation, we have two main resources. The job search guide, which goes over resumes, cover letters, interviewing tips, thank you letters, basically everything that's involved with searching for that job, preparing for that job. Now, of course, we offer online, virtual, phone, and in-person appointments. So if you can't make it into the office, we can certainly get you on virtual. And we do live, one-on-one mock interviews. We could certainly set that up. I know a lot of grad students have taken advantage of that right before a big interview, looking over your resume, those kind of things. Certainly is something in our realm of that we can help with. And then the other thing is that we use is a resource called Handshake. Now, Handshake is a career service management system. It's an online job board, but it's also a huge networking tool. So basically, many people are familiar with LinkedIn. It's kind of like LinkedIn, where you can build a profile and you can network with other people in your field. You can research employers. You can search positions, jobs. So that's a pretty big tool. Certainly, anybody that's first time, we can certainly help navigate that, explain that. So that's certainly something we can do on a one-on-one basis as well. And the other big thing we basically have two audiences. We have the employers and we have students. So I think a lot of people forget the employer side that we deal with in our office. So employers that are looking to hire or network or discuss positions, we field a lot of those requests. A lot of those requests end up going into Handshake. So one of the things is that if they're in Handshakes and they've contacted us, then they're looking for jury students. So that's why Handshake is a very important resource. The other thing is we do job fairs. If we have employers that want to visit on campus, we organize those. In the spring is when our main job fair is. It's usually about in February, and we do that in conjunction with MSU, Evangel, and SBU. So it's a pretty large party. Well, not really a party, but it's a professional get-together, but it's definitely a good time. One of the benefits that I really think is a real big benefit is if you're looking to get a professional photo, typically they're about $5. So if you're able to come down, that's in the Expo Center, downtown Springfield. So $5, you can't beat that. That's a good professional photo that you can put on LinkedIn, you can put on your profile on Handshake. as well. But yeah, there's a whole ton of stuff that we do. But if you're interested in learning more, just get in touch with me, and we'll go into more details about all the services we provide. All right, thank you.
Okay, next up, those of you who are returning know that we're in a new learning management system this fall. So if you took a summer class with us and are coming back to the fall, we have moved to Canvas, which is a welcomed addition to how we do things at Drury. We have our online team here to talk to us a little bit about what you need to know, the tips and tricks for Canvas. It's new and it's awesome, and I'd like to bring up Alexis Slider and Autumn Murdaugh to talk a little bit about some secret tips to Canvas that you'll want to know as you master the new year.
Thanks, Shannon. I'm Alexis, and this is Autumn. I'm the director of online, and Autumn is our assistant instructional designer, and we are very excited to be on Canvas. It is a much more robust LMS. It's a better experience for both faculty and students, and we are 2 of the 4 people that are answering all of your questions. So, Shannon had asked me earlier if we had some repeat questions, things that we are asked a lot, and I thought, well, we'll hit a couple of those. So this menu disappears if you click on, Canvas calls that the hamburger. I don't get that because it's missing a lot of condiments, but but that's what they call it in the training. So if you've clicked on those 3 lines, that row where it says home, announcements, modules will disappear, and I know that panics a lot of students. So just have them click on the hamburger and their menu will reappear. The Smart Thinking Online Tutoring link it should be in all of the courses, and if it's not, just send in a ticket and we'll make sure that it's there. Any issues in Canvas? One of the best things about Canvas is that there's 24/7 support, because we don't work 24/7. And if you have an issue that you think they can help with, please just go to the bottom of the red banner, and there's a question mark, and it says Drury Help. Click on that, and then you can search the Canvas guides. I know a lot of students and instructors are using that. We list the fact sheets. There's digital textbook help from Willow, but chat with Canvas support students only for students. And I know that faculty use this. We get copies of these. We get transcripts of the chat. They're fast, they're efficient, they're friendly, and they're answering their questions. The first time that I sent an instructor there, 8 minutes. And his question was answered in 8 minutes. And we're fast, but we're also might be busy working on something else. And so it's one of the best features. So please make sure your students know about it. Can you think of anything else?
Those are the big ones.
Okay. Said we're excited. And if they can't help you, go ahead and send an email to lmssupport@drury.edu, and that is pushed out to everyone on the online team, and we usually fight to see who's going to answer it the quickest, so we'll do our best. Okay, thank you.
All right, next up. Unfortunately, graduate school is not free. I know. And so we have a business office, and we have the incredible Tamara Squibb to talk to you a little bit about all of the resources that the business office has for you so that you can make sure to get through your new year and your graduate journey without too much trouble when it comes to those bills and those payments.
Oh, I know you don't want to listen to how much this is going to cost you, but I like that the financial aid office works closely with us, so Morgan had a lot of tips. A lot of times I get a lot of questions about scholarships, and I just say you need to call Morgan. But location, we're in Burnham Hall, 100. If you're not on campus, we are very easy to find. Business office at drury.edu. That's the easiest way. And if you come by, my students who are here will tell you that I have stickers and chocolates, and I love students. So I went to Drury as a graduate student many, many years ago, and I had Dr. Waters as a teacher many years ago, and many, many years ago, but we won't discuss that. But people know when they come in my office, I know I have to take your money, but I love kids. I love them, and I treat them like they're my kids. I want them treated when they walk in that office with a question, that it's not a dumb question and that we're going to find the answer. No matter how we have to find it, we will find the answer. And I want them treated like my kids would be treated, especially my international students, my graduate students who are not on campus all the time. So come in, we'll find an answer. If I don't have it, we'll find it. Tuition and fees are always due before the semester starts. A lot of people don't understand that. So it's like you've bought something and you have to pay for it before you come, but it's due 2 weeks before we start. So this was from my fall fusion, my big 416 kids, when I went in front of all of them to talk about payments and their parents. So this was their due date, August the 8th. And we do take cash and check. You can come in the office. You can mail it in, you can make online payments. All of that's on the website, how to make an online payment. And we do have a lot of work study students. And the great thing about Drury, I think, with work study, and if you need a job, go to HR because they'll find you one. They have a lot of openings right now, students. The money comes to you. It doesn't come to the business office. You don't have to decide part of it goes to the business office. The money comes to you. And then you decide how much of it you want to make the payment for your tuition. So if you need it for food or housing or something else, you can get the job and the money comes to you. I love that about Drury. Scholarships, Morgan talked about the options that are there. Outside scholarships, I get a lot of checks sent to my office, and a lot of them are scholarships. And so I just put them all in an envelope once a day, and we walk them over to financial aid, which is in a different building in Bay Hall. I don't know why we can't be close together, but it keeps us walking. And if you have an outside scholarship, she already talked about how they're usually split in half, spring and fall. I've had a lot of questions this week about why did my student not have the $3,000 scholarship? Well, because they got $1,500 for fall, $1,500 for spring. So just know that that's the way it usually works. Nelnet. I can't pay for everything, but I want to pay for it all out of my pocket. I don't want to get a scholarship. I don't have scholarships. I don't want to take a loan out. How can I pay for it in smaller payments? It's called Nelnet. And this can come out right out of your bank account. You set it up, you go to your My Drury page, you go under Student tab, Nelnet payment plan. You tell them how much you can pay a month, and they'll divide it up with however many months we have left of the semester. Whether it's 3 months left, 4 months left. If you set up early, you can get it into 5 payments. So I think that's a great way to keep your payment down and not incur late fees. If you don't tell us you're doing a payment plan, and 30 days in, you're going to get a late fee. And if you set up a payment plan, there's no late fees. So that's the benefit of the payment plan. And the part everybody loves, refunds. So you got scholarships, you got loans, and you got more than you actually needed, and you're going to get a refund. How do you get it? We don't write checks anymore. You don't come in the business office and pick them up. What we do is called Bank Mobile, and it automatically deposits to your account. But you do have to go online on your My Drury and set it up. So you need to make sure that you get the secret code. And I have so many students say, "Oh, I just thought that was junk email." If you get an email from Bank Mobile or from Drury Business Office and you think it's junk, call me. Call the business office. Call me. Say, "Is this junk? Are they joking me?" It's probably not. They probably want you to set up Bank Mobile because you have a refund coming. A lot of people got stimulus money. They didn't think they had any refunds coming, And so stimulus money came and people were getting refunds and they didn't know it. And so if you get an email and you think it's junk, call me, email me, businessoffice@drury.edu, and we'll let you know if it is or not. So that's real important. And that's it. That's it on me. So if you have questions, it's real easy to reach me.
Casey, do we have any questions that have come in online from our live stream viewers? Any questions in the room? Casey has a wireless mic that she can pass around, and we can get those questions asked and answered.
I have a question for Morgan. You mentioned the maximum loan was $20,500. What's the minimum?
Oh, okay. There isn't really a minimum amount. For private loans, there is a minimum. Usually it's $1,000, but for federal loans, there's not really a minimum. If you're taking out federal loans, I'm going to assume that it's probably more than $1,000. We do have a cap, though, on how much we are able to give you in terms of cost of attendance. Each semester is given a maximum that we can award in federal aid and financial aid in total amount. So, for example, let's say that the fall semester has a cost of attendance of $10,000. We cannot award a student over that amount, even if they were to get a loan or approved for a loan that was $20,000. We could not certify that. So that would be the answer to that question.
Any other questions? Okay, before we move to the opportunity to talk a little bit about how our security and bookstore support graduate students, I'd like to invite a current graduate student to talk to you. I mean, what's mastering the new year without a current graduate student to talk to us a little bit? I'd love to introduce Tori Reeves. She works at the Springfield Chamber of Commerce, and she is very involved with the Young Professional Network. So she'd like to talk to you a little bit about how you can get involved in that network as well as you seek to grow with your graduate degree.
Okay, yes, hello. My name is Tori Reeves. I'm double dipping tonight a little bit because I am a current graduate student in the communications department. I'll be graduating this spring. I also completed my undergraduate at Drury, so I've been here for a while now. But since I graduated in May of 2021, I've been working at the Springfield Area Chamber of Commerce as the talent retention coordinator. Talent retention for the chamber and for my role is kind of twofold. So first, I run the network, which is the young professionals group that was mentioned. If you are one of Dr. Sjostor's MBA students, you have seen an email from me because she got you guys all network memberships. So love to meet you guys more at our events coming up. But if you haven't heard of the network, it's a young professionals group. We have about 450 members. Age range of 21 to 39. So we offer different programs and events all throughout the year, but they're focused on professional development and civic engagement right here in the Springfield community. In the back, I brought some flyers that have what our different events look like, our website if you want to learn more, but we do offer a discounted annual membership fee for college students, and that also applies to graduate students. So you can join for $50 for the whole year, and all of our programming and opportunities would be all-inclusive. So I would encourage you to do that. The other piece of talent retention, probably speaking more to those of you that work here at Drury, is I do a lot of college student outreach. That's kind of the other piece of retaining talent in the Springfield community with how many college students Drury, but also the other campuses come here for 4 years. We want them to experience all that the community has to offer. I have this marketing piece that, again, is on the back. It's called Campus SGF. And the chamber designed this specifically for college students working and living in the area. So it has a list of major employers and where to find employment opportunities. As you keep unfolding, it highlights all the different areas in Springfield, like downtown, Cherry and Pickwick. And just different pieces. We hear a lot of students living in the college bubble, so how do we get beyond downtown and national? So we want students when they graduate, whether they stay in Springfield or not, to know all that Springfield has to offer and the employers that are here looking to recruit them. So that's really all I have, but I brought copies of Campus SGF, which I have hundreds, so I love to bring them to classrooms. I do come to classrooms a lot at Jury, at MSU, and give presentations about the network. I would love to connect with anyone on that. And then also flyers about the network. It has been a great opportunity, even from the staff perspective, to learn and get access to all that the community and the community leaders have to offer. So would love to connect with anyone on any of that. Thank you for having me.
All right, before we wrap up for the evening, we did want to remind you that the Nonprofit Leadership Conference will be coming up October 14th. Alex Cobb and conference planners have been working very hard to secure an incredible conference for you. We have keynote speaker Sarah Forhetz, who is from Convoy of Hope. We'll also be hearing from Spencer Harris as part of Mostly Serious. In addition to that, we have 3 tracks, each with 3 presentations. These are community leaders of nonprofit from across the Springfield area and the region. All Drury students can attend that entire day, lunch, snacks, connections, exhibitors for $50. So go to our website, click on that registration button, get that ticket. That is a $50 value, a day of incredible learning. Our nonprofits in the community are doing incredible work, and you will get to hear how that work happens and what happens in our community when you attend that conference. We would love to have jury representation there. Last but not least, we'd like to talk about a couple of offices who are here to support you. If you're here in person on campus and you come to the Findlay Student Center, there are 2 offices that are on the lower level that are very important to your success. One is a security office. What happens there in security is that you can get a printed ID card. That's very useful to the library if you come and need to check out a book. That's important to have on hand. That will also allow you the opportunity to get student discounts and other things where it's very fun to be a student because things are a little bit cheaper. You can also get your parking pass in the security office. So if you ever park on campus as a residential or non-residential student, of course you're going to be non-residential since you are graduate students for the most part, unless you're a graduate assistant in some cases, that parking pass is down there. And at Drury, those parking passes are free. So if you've been at a big institution where you've had to pay hundreds of dollars to park somewhere, that just doesn't happen at Drury. So we want you to register your car so you don't get a ticket and you can park in those non-residential lots. Last but not least, we have Valerie Rains in the bookstore. We have a great bookstore here on campus that has, of course, all of your gifts and swag and t-shirts. And tonight, for those of you who are here, there's a 10% discount that is going to be available to you until 7 p.m. So we'd love for you to head downstairs. The security office is also open until 7 p.m. So if you need to register your car, get an ID card, or just get some t-shirts and fun stuff out of the bookstore, I would love to be able to see you down there. We'll hang around if you have some questions. We hope this has been really useful to you. There's lots of departments here. We're here to help you. The grad office and all of the people that you've heard from tonight want you to have a successful journey. So thank you for joining us. Have an incredible fall semester. We'll see you when we see you. Thank you.